my name is Dee, my pronouns are they, them, and welcome to Not a Floss Tube. This video is not a regular floss tube. We'll go back to those probably in January. This video is just for information about the Stitch4Pride 2024 Stitchalong and Learnalong. So that's, if you're interested, this is the place to go. I'm going to explain what it is. I'm going to explain a little bit of where we came from. I'm also going to do a reveal of the called for floss and the called for fabric, so you can kind of get a look. That's what today is. This is what we're doing. It's going to be a really short video. So let's start out by talking about the history of Stitch4Pride and why I started it. So 3 years ago, Stitch4Pride started as a list. It was a list of 2S LGBTQIA+ members of the community who were stitchy store owners or Flosstubers or people who were connected, like gifty things. I had like stickers and that. And it was meant for people to use to broaden, first of all, number one, broaden their horizon, support my community, my queer and trans community, especially during Pride. So giving money to members of the community for their products, especially during Pride, but also all year round. This was great. I got and I still, by the way, the list hasn't updated in a while, but the list is still up. It's in my bio. I'll probably put it down below too. But it's a nice place to go if you want to find new designers to you that are part of the community. It was good. It was successful. I really liked it. I think it did its purpose. I listened to what people wanted next, and a lot of people were really interested in my education pieces that I do in Flosstube. So the second Stitch4Pride was a daily challenge in June, and each day there was a learning topic about something about Pride, and or the 2S LGBTQIA community, and you had a learning to do, and I don't even know if I had any activism, but at least learning and some stitching. So it was a daily thing that went all through June. That I put my heart and soul into. A lot of people enjoyed, but also for a lot of people, it was a lot. Doing something every day when you're not used to incorporating an activism or learning practice into your daily schedule, that overwhelmed some people. So I listened, and then last year I started Stitch4Pride 2023, which was a monthly challenge. Every month I put out a calendar, a free calendar. Anyone can click on it. It's still up right now. I'll put it down below too. And you do a learning about a topic. There are extended learning if you have time. You also had calls to activism of how you can improve your activism each month. And then you got a little stitching prompt. That was all free, which was great. A lot of people loved it. I noticed there was excitement at the beginning for Stitch4Pride this year, and there was excitement during June, and then it kind of wavered. And I don't blame people. I understand. Some people had different activism that they wanted to concentrate on. Some people just could not get into the routine. That's okay. So that's why I've changed Stitch4Pride 2024. So let me first tell you about my point of view. So I've been doing Stitch4Pride for 3 years now, and it's all unpaid. I just did this out of my own time and kindness of my heart and need for activism. I wanted to give back to the stitching community. I realized internally that I felt disappointed when I saw people drop off, especially when I had to keep out the same amount of work. And again, everyone had different reasons why they dropped off and stopped doing it. Hopefully their activism went somewhere else with another cause. Hopefully they replaced activism with other activism is all I hope. Or at least did a different practice, a different routine. So I realized that in order for me to feel good about this project, I need to feel appreciated. And I realized one of the way, and I know it's capitalism, it's not It's not a great way to feel appreciated. One of the way I was thinking of feeling appreciated is actually having a physical sign up with a paywall. So if people decide that they want to get on board, the Stitch4Pride 2024 is with the Stitchalong is $30 Canadian. And so that gave me the feeling, and I know it feels weird again, capitalism, etc., but it gave me the feeling of this person is spending real money and putting trust in me to put forth a program that is valuable to them. And today, putting through that money and saying, I appreciate you, here's your go, thank you for your labor, it's helpful. It's helpful. And then that way, if I send out emails and no one looks at them, they've already done enough where they've put forth that behind the paywall they say, you are worth my $30 Canadian. Your time is worth my $30 Canadian. Thank you very much. So it's helped me with the feeling of appreciation. That's why I'm putting the Stitch4Pride 2024 Stitchalong during behind a paywall. The other reason is I'm adding a pattern, a monthly pattern to go along with your learning and activism. Because pattern making takes work, I decided to charge for that, of course, charging for my work. That is why, that's the kind of the whole explanation. Connected to that, I also wanted to make sure there is a free option for people who cannot afford it. I always want there to be an option for those people, especially for people in my community who cannot afford but still want to learn. That is why in my Ko-fi right now, there's a Stitch4Pride 2024 Learnalong. It is a pay what you can. So if you can't pay anything, you can put $0 in there. That's fine for me. But you get the learning. You get basically all the same stuff as the people who paid, except for you would not get the pattern. So you will get the same learning, monthly learning every month, but you won't get the pattern. This is for people, again, who can't afford it, or people who just don't want to stitch. Maybe you don't have time to stitch, but you still want to do the learning. It means a lot to me that you at least hit subscribe. You're going to sign up for both of these categories or sign up for an email list. So the fact that you're buying in means a lot to me, no matter if you pay or if you don't pay. So that was the result of that. Let me tell you about what the Stitch4Pride 2024 will look like. This year, the theme is Two-Spirit LGBTQIA+ artists, visual artists. So every month I have chosen a visual artist, some artists that you will know, some artists you will probably not know. So you'll have well-known ones that are hanging in the Met and the Chicago Museum and etc. And then you'll maybe find people who you have never heard of before. But you'll get information about this artist. You will get some extra resources about them. I will do a little call to action, connecting some activism for you, some activism options. And then you will also get a pattern. This pattern is going to be inspired by the artist that we talked about that month. So you will get 12 different patterns, each one representing 12 different 2S LGBTQIA members, community members. So that's cool. That's a lot. The patterns, you can stitch them separately, or I will also be putting them together in a spot sampler, so they'll kind of all fit together. It's your option. You can stitch some, you can stitch none, you can stitch all of them. I will be stitching all of them. That's how it will work. Anything else about that? The size of the pattern is behind the paywall, so you have to click the $30. I do give a warning that you will need a fat quarter or a quarter yard of fabric, and this is not. It's not going to take up the whole thing, but it will give you enough space to, if you just want to do the samplers, the patterns separately, it will give you enough space. Before January, I will give everyone who has signed up a official stitch size, so you can kind of be more aware of that. I will also give you a DMC conversion for the Call for Flosses. So I'm going to talk more about the Call for Flosses and the fabric coming up. For the Learnalong people, you don't have to worry about stitching. You will just wake up hopefully the first day of every month, and you'll get an email with, again, the same artist, the same learning, and the same activism. You just don't have to worry about the pattern. Okay, let's see. I did this. We're good. Okay, let's talk about the fabric and floss. So because Stitch4Pride started out as a way for people to support members of my community monetarily, it was really important for me to pick a floss supplier and a fabric supplier who are members of my community. So luckily, these two people are also my friends, who I really like. So let me show you the floss, or let me show the fabric. This is by Jessie of Mislaid Pages. Jessie has created a colorway called Determination. Such a good name. And Jessie did something that is out of their wheelhouse. I asked for a neutral. And if you know Jessie's flosses, Jessie ain't neutral. They're not neutral. They're bright, big, bold colors. But I will tell you, Jessie's so good at neutrals. This is a really fun neutral, and I really hope they do more. This is Determination. Now, so here, let me get up close, because you're like, I don't know. You will see pictures of this. You'll see better pictures of this when I do the Call for Flosses and stuff. I will also give you like a DMC equivalent of like what I use. But if you can see, it is modeled. There's it's a very light, like a taupe, but it's modeled with almost these like hunter green, dark green. It's not showing up too much, but these like darker green model-y pieces. It's really nice. Again, I will send everyone who's signed up for the Stitch Along, I will send up some really nice pictures so you can see, and I'll also send a DMC equivalency. So if you want to find a piece of fabric that is matches. Jessie, do more neutral fabric. I love it so much. That's all I want to stitch on. I'm a neutral boy. I have myself a 36 count linen, a 1/4 yard. And again, the pattern will not take up this whole thing. If you do the spot sampler that I design, I think it will only take up probably a 1/4 of this. But I wanted to give enough room for, if you're choosing to do it on 14 count, I wanted to get enough room for you. Also, if you are stitching not the spot sampler, but each pattern separately, I wanted to give you enough room and space so you can like turn it into a little pillow, or cut it out and put it in your scrapbook. So this is just, the pattern isn't this big, but it is just giving you enough room to do what you want, enough space to do what you want, whether that is the spot sampler or whether that is doing all the patterns individually. I love this fabric, and Jessie knocked it out of the park. So thank you, Jessie. Okay, so that's your fabric. The floss. Okay. Oops. Oh no. Oh gee. Oh gosh. Ah, darn. Okay. There are several floss dyers in the community. I have found 2 bigger ones. One was in Europe. They did not reply to my email asking for collaboration. And you know what? They're busy. And another is in the States, and I emailed them, and then they just replied, or I messaged them and they just replied too late. I had gone with someone else. So those two floss dyers, here, they are, I think it's Undercover Otter is one. Let me look. Oh, I'm sure this is Undercover Otter. Oh, you know what? I'll put their links down below. Their names are have flown away. But they do some wonderful floss. We weren't able to get into contact fast enough for me. And I understand why. They got businesses, right? They don't want to fool around with my little whims. But I contacted a yarn dyer who I know, named Jasmine, and I said, "Hey, Jasmine, do you ever want to dye some floss?" So this is Knitting Nurse Jasmine. You may know them. They have a floss tube. They do a lot of knitting. They have been dyeing some beautiful yarn. And you know what? Right away, they're on board. They asked what kind of palette I am looking for. I said a very bold jeweled tone to really hop off of Jessie's neutral fabric. And boy, did Jasmine deliver. So I'm going to show you, I'm not going to show you the names, but I'm going to show you kind of the order, the 12 flosses. Again, if you are signed up for the Stitch Along, I will give a DMC conversion at the end of December, so you can kind of pick out flosses that are similar to mine. Each pattern is monochromatic, so you'll only need one floss color. And again, if you want to use this as a stash buster, do it. You don't have to use the same colors as I am using. Use colors that inspire you and what colors you think are connected to the artist. I'm not revealing the artist today. You get that one at a time, but I will be showing you the colors. So Jasmine, thank you for knocking this out of the park, and thank you for working with me. January is a bold royal blue with these white speckles. Absolutely love them. February are these rich greens, very natural. It goes very dark to very light. It's a really nice variegation. Almost reminds me of a forest. Now for January, February, March, we had this floss. It is a neutral. It's got a little pink in it. I actually really like it, but it did not bounce off of the fabric well enough when I did test stitching. So I showed Jasmine the pattern, and Jasmine's like, "I got you." We got this. It's like a reddish, pinkish rushed and a bright green. This one's called Rooster Sauce. So this is going to be the pattern. January, February, March, April. Hot pink, baby. Was it lipstick lesbian pink? We love them. We love them. With some white blotches in it. January, February. I'm really bad at my months, but y'all. January, February, March, April, May. It's almost like a sea to sky. You've got some earth tones. Oh, this is all. I'm sorry. This is Boop. Look at my hand. Boop. Look at my hand. No. There. That would be better. You've got some like sea, ocean tones with a little bit of earth. This one's going to be hard to translate because it's so different. My phone. January, February, March, April, May, June. This is your Pride. This is going to be the one on Pride. It is bright yellow, the brightest yellow you ever did see. June, July. A beautiful, hold on. Excuse me. Excuse me. Pardon me? Thank you. So unprofessional of me to not have... There we go. July is a bright, almost cerulean blue to a more like dark, natural tone. August. I would call this almost like a sea foam. It's like sea foam green bits with like brighter blue bits. This one I think is my favorite. I lost count of what month. You're keeping track though. Very earth tone. Very earth tones. Some dark greens and browns. This one I know is October. Just kind of spoopy. We've got some dark gray blotches with some purples and whites. October, November. Purple. It's almost like a royal purple. And December. This one's neat. You've got almost like a terracotta creamsicle to like pinky purple. So much fun. Those are your flosses. This is Jasmine's cat. Those are your flosses. Again, you do not have to use these colors. Maybe when you see the name of the artist, you'll be inspired to pick something from your stash. I think that would be fantastic. They're meant to be monochromatic, but you also might want to add colors. Have fun. Have fun with it. I'm really excited to see what people come up with. So the important part is signing up is going to close December 31st. So that means I get to populate my list and my email list. And then that means everyone will get their first email January 1st. And you'll only get one email a month. You get one pattern a month. But you also get the pattern, and then I will show you where the pattern should be placed if you want to do the spot sampler. We are starting top left. Sorry, center starters. We are starting top left. So that's where we're going to be starting. Should I kind of want to reveal what the first one is. I think so. Let's do it. Okay. Yeah, why not? Why not? Your January artist, who is this royal blue? Of course, we got to start with the big name. Keith Haring. So that way, if you want to get your supplies ready for January, you can kind of look at his art and kind of see what colors pop off to you. It's going to be very reminiscent of his style for sure. He is very close to my heart. You probably have seen me wear a lot of Keith Haring pieces. So that will help. If that helps you with your decision, then go for it. Okay, I think that's it. 23 minutes ain't bad, folks. I gotta go Christmas shopping. So I will see you in January, and hopefully you sign up, and I will see you monthly in your inbox. If you've chosen to sign up, I haven't actually said this. I was overwhelmed with orders. I think we're almost at 80 people signing up. This is fantastic. I feel appreciated. I feel very appreciated that people have decided to put money down and say, hey, Dee, we trust you to teach us, and we trust you to put together a beautiful spot sampler, and we trust you to help us with our activism. That means a lot to me. 80 people have decided to tell me that. And plus, like, I think 5 people have signed up for the Learnalong. So, like, again, 85 people have told me that they appreciate me for this. A lot of people tell me they appreciate me, but I mean, specifically mean for Stitch4Pride, and I want to thank every single one who has already signed up. I've got to start stitching these samples. I should start doing that today. My school ends December 22nd, so After that, I'm going to be zooming along. Okay, friends, thank you very much for your time, and I can't wait to show you what I have in store for you in 2024. Thank you so much. Your Stitch Dad loves you.